Hello, I have a little song. I heard there was a secret food that when you ate could make you poo, but you don't really care for spicy, do you? Put them on my nachos, please, and when you do, don't forget the cheese. My favorite little pepper, jalapeno. Jalapeno. Jalapeno, jalapeno, jalapeno. Love the show. Power out.
TBTL.
What will your first sequence of the day be?
Computer load up, celery man, please.
He is a fan of the outrageous. He loves to surprise. He loves other things as well.
You guys are so fun. Just relentlessly fun. I keep thinking, when are they going to stop being fun? And the answer is never.
That was great. That was good. You went for it. I appreciate that.
What do you say we go out and get some Carvel?
I got the time if you got the diapers.
All right, hello, good morning, and welcome everyone to a Thursday edition of TBTL, the show that just might be too beautiful to live.
Guess where you just got into? Cool Guy Zone.
My name's Luke Burbank. I'm your host.
It's Tom Bondarley, king of the dirty songs.
Coming to you from the Madrona Hill studio where, oh my gosh, I just realized I did not rinse the dish soap out of the cup that I am drinking coffee out of. Huh, excuse me. We got it. It's okay. I'm going to push through. Here we are at the Madrona Hill studio. Boy, that was a surprise. I did not expect that taste. And I need to do a better job of rinsing out the cups here now that I have a sink in the Madrona Hill studio. Luckily, it's a beautiful day here high above the mighty Columbia.
Oh,
so
Ma, Pa, it's just beautiful.
at least we've got that going for us here on episode 4707 in a collector series.
Let the fun begin.
I have to say, in all of my Vetter Cups that I've been through, this has been one of the absolute worst. At least last night was when the Mariners played the San Diego Padres. It was not fun. And we're not going to have a conversation about baseball. We're going to have a conversation about a group of grown men last night who were in the depths of despair because of other grown men not doing stuff that we wanted them to do. Also, the remember the shoe company AllBirds? It was a big hit in Silicon Valley. It was kind of like the official shoe of a certain kind of tech guy and tech gal. And I read the other day that it went out of business. They closed their last retail store. And then I read today that now they've relaunched as an AI company.
I don't know a lot about business, but he did an internet, and now the computers like him, and Wall Street is Google.
Wall Street is Google over this. They're giving AllBirds, the AI company, a bunch of money. I don't know. I don't understand any of it, but we'll try to not understand it together. Also, it's a Thursday, a.k.a. Blur's Day, so
My birthday today.
do the Blur's Day messages, and we'll say hello to this guy, longest-running Cobra of the show, maybe best known for his depictions of the tall ships.
Two bros, broing it up.
He's Andrew Walsh, and he's joining me right now. Good morning, my friend.
I almost just quit. quit the show when you were really leaning into the Vetter Cup stuff. Like, I'm not into the Vetter. The idea that we're even... The Vetter Cup to me is like X the Everything app to you. Like, you just shudder when...
Say, I see, so you're never... This doesn't get you in the mood for maybe the Mariners salvaging one game from the Vetter Cup?
And by the way, I'm not against Eddie Vedder. Actually, he seems like a really good baseball-loving guy. I think the money goes to good organizations.
Absolutely.
This isn't a ding on Pearl Jam or Eddie Vedder or the sport of baseball or the Padres or the Seattle Mariners. Well, them a little bit. The two teams that I guess have like created this stupid Vetter Cup thing, which started as like I guess a little joke among some Gen X sports writers who I think we might be one degree of separation from. So maybe I should be careful. But
at the risk of repetition, just very quickly, Eddie Vedder from Pearl Jam, he's from San Diego, but of course, famously made Pearl Jam in Seattle. And so somebody thought that's the rivalry between the Seattle Mariners and the San Diego Padres.
Yeah, and then other people are kind of like, well, it's supposed to be tongue-in-cheek. It's not real. But it's just like, well, then just stop doing it. I mean, listen, I spent way too much time last year when they officially kind of made it a sanctioned thing with
Did you see
branding.
the new Vetter Cup City Connect jerseys, though? Did you like them?
Yeah. That should be the logo. That's the joke. That's the off-color joke that I said last year at the time, is because last year I was around this time of year, I was so mad about this Vetter Cup thing. And what did they do to celebrate this famous frontman singer? They illustrate it with a guitar pick and a guitar neck. Oh, is he known for his guitar licks and his guitar playing? No, it's because it's just lazy. It's just like rock and roll, man. How do we illustrate rock and roll with a guitar? Yeah. Oh yeah, Eddie Vedder, famous guitarist, one of America's. It's just so stupid. It is so stupid. And then after yesterday's loss, which is one of the worst. I mean, not as far as impact on the season, but
impact on my heart.
Impact on the season was one of the most terrible ways to lose a baseball game. I don't know how much we want to get into it. Just absolutely terrible. I'm not in a mood today for us to be handing over the reins to those who think that the Vetter Cup is a thing. It is not a thing.
Anyone who
like
listens to this show thinks it's a thing.
I quit.
Okay, just for the record.
I quit. I'll get out of here.
That was a tough game last night, and there's just no two ways about it. The Mariners were leading 6-2 going into the ninth. 6-2 going into the ninth inning. So, I mean, I really have. This is how I think about these kinds of things. I'm like, well, if the worst thing that could happen would be a grand slam, which would only tie it. Mm-hmm. You know, like that's you know, like I think it might have been Niehaus, it might have been Riz, but somebody. And this is something a lot of announcers say. They're like, well, they can tie it with one swing of the bat. Somehow I think of 4 runs as being the good news with leading by 4 runs is even if the worst thing possible happens, which is bases loaded home run, one swing of the bat, you still haven't lost.
Right, because
you're dealing with a tie game.
And I do think that we were in that situation with their like absolute star hitter. Wasn't Tatis Jr. up with the bases loaded? I think
and he lined out to Raley, but it brought in a run.
Yeah.
But then unfortunately, and that's when I thought, okay, all we needed was Munoz, our very very vaunted closer, to just get a guy out. Even like it was a strange experience because it was a slow motion crash, but I just kept thinking we're gonna steer into the crash and get this together because all we needed was our incredibly good reliever to just get a person out, and it was going to be like closer than we wanted it to be. That just kept not happening. This is a guy who is rarely hit that hard and hit that consistently. And of course, he wasn't even the guy who gave up the final hit. It was this lefty that we picked up in the offseason with great fanfare. I forget his name, but anyway. Is it Ferrer or Barrere?
It starts with an F. I know that.
Okay,
I think it's Ferrer or Ferrar. I might be saying it wrong.
Well, yeah, that guy, like, I mean, I don't know. You need your pitchers to be able to get somebody out, and you can even give up some runs, which they did. They just got to get somebody out at some point, and they just were incapable of that. And the thing that also is a bummer is it's Slam Diego, famously of the Vetter Cup. It's their best hitters doing best hitter things, and that's what the Mariners have had precious little of this season is like our best guys doing something in the clutch that we need them to do. And that's, hard. It was also hard because it led me to be a little bit unfair with our friend Durs. I was a little snippy with him. I was in because we were winning 6-2, Andrew, I was in a generous mood. And by generous, I mean, I was allowing Andy back into my heart. On the text chain, I unblocked him. And then, of course, when I unblocked him, it was right when things started going sideways. And then he wasn't even actually being. Of course, I didn't see everything he said because I unblocked him like 2/3 of the way through the game.
He wasn't saying like end of the season, end of an era.
No, he wasn't, and that he wasn't at all. And I think I was being a little bit extra with my feelings because oh my God, Andrew, I am having.
What is it? Now you're on your second mug. What is going on?
Yes, and
over
it's
here?
Leaking.
You got one mug that is filled with
it's
coffee.
It's not overflowing. It's leaky or whatever he says. Andrew, forget the Vetter Cup, Andrew. I need a better cup.
Can't find a better cup.
So my first, I got to figure this out. So The first cup that I have, which is my Charlie Brown, I Feel Strangely Confident today, this had a bunch of dish detergent in it that I didn't see. So when I took a sip of my coffee, it tasted like detergent. And that wasn't what I wanted. But I was very excited for that cup of coffee. So I thought that I'd solved the problem cleverly, Andrew. Many years ago, some listeners, I believe in the great state of Minnesota, sent me this cup that I'm going to hold up to the camera for you. It's got a rabbit on it. It's got the state of Minnesota.
It's very cute. It looks
it's
like
a mug. It's very beautiful. It's been holding these pens for many years. I just decided to try to, at the last minute, pinch hit it for my other cup. And guess what, Andrew?
Worried that's where you. I was going to say.
Guess what, Andrew? It's got a giant hole in the bottom of it. It's leaking.
It's dripping all over the place. He has it on a mirror, like on a handheld mirror, to collect all the drippings.
Put it on some kind of surface. I got to get this thing outside.
It's not a slow leak. I will tell the listeners. Like, it is really leaking badly. But here's the problem. Here is, as you grab that other mug and I saw you drinking from another one, I literally had the thought, why does he have a second mug? And I thought to myself, I swear to God, Luke, I thought, please don't let that just be a pen mug that he's drinking from without. I'm not even joking. I was like,
I don't care about the.
Wait,
I mean,
mug.
You think it's contaminated?
Well, it's just been sitting on your desk for how long? I mean, there's dust.
I'd say
there's
3 years.
3 years. This mug just sits
no
on
longer,
your desk.
Probably. I think I had it in
pens,
Bellingham.
And you just take it. You're not going to wash it first. You're just going to drink out of it.
Coffee sanitizes it. Everybody knows that.
Oh, that's so great. The mug is cracked for your own protection.
It's cracked for my pleasure.
Yeah, exactly. God,
well,
that's
and
awful.
you know what we're down to now? You know what
you're just going to start pounding Splenda out of the package? Oh no,
I'm taking Splenda out of this.
I can see that's grimy. It's a clear. He's got a mason jar, a clear mason jar.
Got a mason jar.
Just get up. We'll stop down. I'll go check on the puppy or something. My God, what are you doing? This isn't live. He's cleaning out the mason jar with the corner of his jacket.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Do not.
You know what? I'm living, Andrew. I'm living.
And what? You're going to pour the half a cup of coffee that's left from? Oh no, I see. You have your whole carafe there, so you're not going with the coffee from
now. Now the question is,
this is sick.
How will the mason jar?
Sick.
Easy, Larry King.
Sick.
How will the mason jar respond to watch the mason jar explode from the heat of the coffee?
Like Hans Molman slowly rolling into a tree.
Just keep running into cup-related issues.
God.
Again, the fact that we've been talking about the Vetter Cup today, and that I'm having so many cup-related problems. That wasn't on the show sheet, but it did kind of. I mean, it's sort of on topic today. I'll tell you.
Can't find a better mug. I'm doing it again.
I know. That's the bummer part, is that I didn't have Better Mug ready to go.
Listen, there's something tangentially related to this that I want to talk to you about, which is interesting because this is one of those things because I think of you as my broadcast partner. You and I have a similar taste in a lot of. I think the reason we ended up where we are today in 2026 is because we get along well, but also we share an aesthetic when it comes to audio and radio and just a lot of production elements that we don't have to get into here. And because of that, I think about you when I listen to a few podcasts because they choose intro music that I like and find so fascinating, but I'm almost appalled that somebody would choose this as intro music, but then I end up liking it. One example, which I know we've talked about, is I actually like the intro to the Howard Stern show.
I'm very surprised by that.
I don't know why. It just works for me. And it's a Rob Zombie song. I'm not a big Rob Zombie fan. I don't listen to that style of music. I don't really listen to Howard Stern all that often, but when you turn it on and it's got that high energy and kind of slow build up, and sometimes Howard is singing over
deep down
it.
From Planet X.
I really think it works. And then now
Call me the American Nightmare.
This comes back to the Vetter Cup and this Pearl Jam you keep playing. I haven't checked in on the Bill. I haven't checked in on the Bill Simmons.
You know, this is why I was late dialing up today.
Oh, good. Oh, fantastic. Oh, good. So I'm a victim twice
3
over.
ways. Yeah, exactly.
Anyway,
keep going.
That's for the Cornell Cup, I believe, by the way.
Okay. But I had to wait to the part of that is Vetter, but I almost pulled Cornell. Yeah. Andrew, real thing. I was trying to listen. I was like, is that I was like, well, because I think Cornell does the first verse, and then Vedder does the second verse, and then Cornell does that high part you were singing. But I almost, it was hard to tell, and I almost pulled Cornell, and then I thought, wouldn't that be my luck? I'll play that, and then the listeners are going to just absolutely lambast
That would have been the soapy mug of audio cuts. So here's what I'm going with this. When I was listening to the Bill Simmons podcast, and I didn't get super deep into it, but I listened to it for a couple of weeks as it kind of before baseball started, and I just had a hole in my listening day. And I really liked it. I just never got deep into it. And I know a lot of people are hardcore fans of that show, so I'm just like letting you know that I'm not like kind of deep into that world. But I really like his intro music.
I don't even know what it is.
I'm going to play it for you. It's unhinged. You would if you and I were to decide we're going to start 100,000 podcasts. Never once would we make the decision to choose a Pearl Jam song and
75
B,
Luke and Andrews on 75 typewriters would never.
A Pearl Jam song and B, a live performance of a Pearl Jam song. Do you want to hear how the Bills like this goes against all of my instincts as a producer, but it's like uniquely him. I guess he likes Pearl Jam a lot, you know, and so it fit. But it's a live track, and this is how it begins.
Okay,
let's see. I hope there's no ads. I didn't actually.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm.
Going to be an ad.
Upsets,
okay, should we just let? Are we just giving?
We're ad-free podcasting.
Yes, we are.
We can't play someone else's ads if we're going to be an ad-free podcast.
I don't know.
Talk over him.
We got to talk over him. Are they? They have 19 something. I can't hear you. I can't hear you, Bill. Okay,
that's the song my mom sings when she doesn't want to hear something.
Are we getting close?
Predictable. Because in life's uncertain moments, big or small,
Here it is.
someone is ready to assist.
I'm stopping this until here we go.
Okay, yeah.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Are you kidding me?
Well, I want the whole point of this is I want you to hear how it begins, so I don't want us playing another song.
Standing by it. No more. I won't play any more audio.
Are selected by the customer. Price and eligibility vary by state.
No. What are you doing? Is this another ad? Oh, was that you? No.
Simmons Podcast brought to you by FanDuel.
Oh my God,
Andrew!
I'm yelling at you. I'm just playing this from Apple Podcasts, so I can't even scrub through.
Oh, it won't let you. Oh,
I'm kind of in this weird place where I can't scrub.
And it's also FanDuel. It's like the worst.
It's just like the worst.
State Farm, I can kind of.
Oh, wait, no, we got a Kalshi ad coming up.
Kalshi, Law Tigers for Men, and
Law Tigers
hymns
for Men.
and Blue Chew.
All right. This is on me. I'm sorry for yelling at you.
No, that's okay. I am genuinely curious.
Do it in San Francisco because it's a great.
I like his voice, though.
So that's coming Monday night.
Oh, he's still just doing ads. Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Yeah,
well, this is what it's like. This is a reminder to the TBTL audience that you don't have to go through. There's a podcast I listen to that has. I hit forward on it 5 times because I know that the first 2.5 to 3 minutes is just ads. Not with us. Instead, you get 2.5 minutes of me talking over other people's ads.
And a little bit of Pearl Jam.
Do it.
Are we there yet? No.
No, this is ridiculous. I am going on strike. Why is my day going so badly?
I do have some good news. This mason jar is working really well for the coffee.
Okay, well,
it
that's
hasn't
really
exploded. It's not leaking, and the coffee doesn't taste like detergent. So my day is getting steadily better, even as yours is getting steadily worse.
We just keep talking over top of this. I just want to hear. No. You're right to do so. This isn't the Bill Simmons show. I need to listen here. Is this some sort? Did I pick of the thousands of episodes of the show? Did I pick one that doesn't begin normally? I want to hear, are we still in an ad or is this him starting?
And they're in MSG and they scratched Jaylen Brown this morning.
This does
not sound like an ad. I picked the wrong one. God damn it, Luke.
Do you know what the song is and can I find it on Spotify?
No, I don't know what the song is and I don't think it's an album track. I think that's the whole point. I think it's some live track that he likes, but you are right. I should be doing it on Spotify.
Yeah. Would that be
I'm moving to Spotify as well, so I can scrub through this. Just another example of Apple Podcasts letting me down.
I don't like them very much.
They let us down a few weeks ago. Remember that?
Oh yeah, they wouldn't let you post or something. Right?
No, we were posting. The podcast was there, but then listeners just on their end, their apps weren't playing weren't downloading the TBT.
Oh,
as I said, because a lot of people were reaching out, and we had to like kind of tell people how to fix it. But it was basically like we had to help people fix their app. It's kind of like. This was the example I gave. It's like people were like, "You're not posting any shows. What happened to the shows?" I'm like, "No, we're posting the shows. The Apple app on your side is just broken." It's like saying your house isn't here anymore, and me saying, "No, it's just that your mapping app is broken and it's showing like there's nothing there." Let's see here. This is going to be probably another ad. Let's see. Let's try this.
That sounds like the ad beginning.
Or did he change his music?
The Bill Simmons podcast brought to you by Sam's Club.
This is crazy. Fuck it. Like, I don't usually swear. This is... One of these days, I'm going to find... I should have prepped this for you. I wanted to talk about this with you at some point on air or off because I think it's an incredibly weird decision, but interesting and compelling decision for intro music. One that I thought you would share my thoughts on.
Yeah.
And then I finally have an opportunity to share it with you, but I haven't listened in weeks, and maybe he's changed his theme song or the way he opens his show, and this has been an absolute disaster. This is the equivalent of last night's Mariners game.
It is, and the fact is, you're the Munoz of this.
I really am.
You're
ruined
usually
the show.
Unhittable. No, I'm saying you're usually unhittable, and you know they just every once in a while you're going to you're going to leave one up in the zone, and that just happened. Do you actually know what the name of the song is? I know it's a live version. I'm not going to try to play it.
Yeah.
We've already had enough. It's not one of the like. It's not Alive or Jeremy. It's not one of the.
I don't think it's anything off of 10, which is everything that you're listing. I don't think it's a huge hit. I don't know enough about Bill Simmons or I don't know enough about Pearl Jam to like know how popular it is. Anything kind of past.
Is it this Pearl Jam song?
Of what? Lemon pound cake.
Yes.
He wanna put down his block. Lemon pound cake.
Oh, I think I got it.
Trending on TikTok. Lemon pound cake.
All right.
I
That's
think I
for
got
the
it.
Afro Man Cup. That's next week.
Yes,
when we play,
that I would be down
play
with.
Cincinnati.
Can we see if this is it? Let's see.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
okay, here
like
it is.
Okay, this sounds like
this is exactly how the podcast begins. There are no ads here, apparently.
Okay.
And which I kind of like. Kind of the pre-roll ads kind of ruined it. So I'm like, I don't know much about the show, but I like Bill Simmons. Let's just listen. I put on my headphones, and this is how the show begins.
Okay.
You're kidding me. This is the same. Here it is.
Okay. Yeah, it's a little ominous.
Yeah. And live?
Yeah, it's a little moody.
All right, live on Netflix, Zach Lowe is here. It's the Bill Simmons podcast.
Isn't that weird? Not only is it
That's
moody, but it's
very
like
surprising.
It's somebody else's crowd. You know what I mean? I would see like if a famous rock star had their own podcast, maybe you start with your own live song. But it's like, no, I'm just a guy who's going to be talking about sports for an hour, and I'm going to open it up with a live version of
kind of muddy vocals, by the way.
Muddy vocals, but like I listen to it and I think, you crazy for this one, Bill, but I'm also drawn in, and I love the fact that that people are doing things that just like, I don't know, this doesn't make sense. And I'm sure Bill thought like Andrew Walsh would never do this, but it works for me. And there's something about that I really appreciate. I feel like a lot of podcasts just kind of all have this, especially like the kind of the ones that are born out of public radio, they tend to have a very like similar sound.
Yeah, I think, well, I'm totally with you on this. And I'll say this. I don't in any way like the Howard Stern show intro, American Nightmare by Rob Zombie as a song, but I like hearing it because it tells me the Howard Stern show is about to begin. And this is the power of repetition. And in fact, I mean, it really is like just almost the whole thing of TBTL, almost like TBTL's entire existence is based around repetition. We've been using the same theme song since day one. Is it a good song or a bad song? Who can even tell anymore? I say the exact same stuff at the top of the show, pretty much, more or less. You know, well, hello, good morning, and welcome. Like, part of that is because I just don't want to have to make any hard decisions. But there's something about repetition where eventually the fact that it is the song that is played at that moment gives it value.
Yes, exactly.
You know?
Exactly. And this one is curious to me because every time I hear it, I'm like, oh, yeah, this show begins this way. Now it begins with a little drum roll, apparently, that I was unfamiliar with. But it's strange and it catches the ear. And you're like, oh, okay. I mean, it's like this is maybe overthinking it, but it's kind of like, okay, I'm in your world now, Bill.
Yeah. Yeah, it's some kind of a little sort of subconscious signal. I'm sure that, now this is where I need to really be careful because, both of us are like roasting this idea of the Vedder Cup because we don't think it's a real thing. But I also know that a lot of our listeners are big Pearl Jam fans. And so I want to be careful I'm not yucking any yums because I like Pearl Jam. Like, I mean, honestly, that album 10, when it came out, I remember when Pearl Jam played Almost Live.
Oh, wow. I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, they were on Almost Live.
That's pretty cool.
Can you see, Andrew, I don't want to make you the research assistant, but can you see if there's any internet evidence of this?
Because of my track record?
Can you find me the audio of?
Yeah, this is like when a quarterback throws an interception. The coach says, "Go back out there."
Yeah,
and I want you to throw a long passing play because I still have
Andrew,
I still have faith.
You
in
have to have a very short memory. That's the only way you can succeed on this podcast. Is you got to have a goldfish memory, my guy.
Well,
but like I remember being a kid, and I don't even think this was so Almost Live. Most of the people listening to this, certainly if they're from Seattle and they're my age, they know what that was. But it was a little local sketch comedy show on TV that was so popular in Seattle when I was a kid that it actually pushed real Saturday Night Live back by a half hour. My understanding was it was the only place in America where Saturday Night Live started at 12 a.m. because from 11:30 on Saturday night, at 11:30, that's when Almost Live went on. And it was arguably, to me and my friends, a bigger deal than Saturday Night Live because the jokes were more local. We just thought it was the best. And I remember being a kid, and I don't think that they really did musical guests typically, but I have this memory that Pearl Jam played on Almost Live.
Trying to find it here. Could it have been a Seattle Grunge Christmas with Pearl Jam's mic? No. I have something here, Pearl Jam Rockstar Fantasy Camp, but this seems more like it's a
sketch.
A sketch, but it does look like maybe Dave Grohl's in it, but I don't know. Who's the bald guy from Almost Live, by the way? He's so...
John Keister.
John Keister, yes. And do I know him? I didn't grow up with Almost Live, but he's so familiar to me. Is it just because I've watched too many clips?
I think he's mostly... I think that was his thing. Now, I will say, Almost Live did have a moment of syndication where it was on, I forget what network, it might have been E! Somebody was playing Almost Live. So there was, for a brief moment, a national footprint for it. So it's possible it came through your cable television at some point. But all that is to say, I loved Pearl Jam, and I still have a real soft spot for them. I tended to go more in the Wilco direction. So, like, Wilco is my Pearl Jam, which is to say, for the folks who really, really love Pearl Jam and really just, like, love to see them live. And when the new album comes out, it's a big deal, and they really just follow the guys. And again, I can't overstate this. Pearl Jam seems like a real force for good in the world, so like I'm very pro them, but I got on a different train, and that train was called Conductor Jeff Tweedy, and we're going on the Wilco train. But all that is to say, like, I'm unsurprised. This is what all this tortured setup is, Andrew. I'm not surprised to hear that Bill Simmons is a Pearl Jam guy. There's a certain kind of particularly white guy of my era for whom Pearl Jam is the thing. And Bill Simmons seems exactly like the guy for whom Pearl Jam would be the thing. If that makes any sense.
And I think I probably like Pearl Jam more than you do. I haven't listened to them in a long time. I went through this thing where I was a really big Pearl Jam fan. In fact, like their second record, I bought it so early that I had a rare CD where it had a different name. I can't remember what it was, and I just bought it at the mall
Vitalogy or something. That was
their
later.
Third one, but their second one, and maybe I'm trying to think what the final name. It ended up being called Versus, I think, but I had one that either was untitled.
I loved that album.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Old woman at a cash register or something, and it had
that's
but it had glorified G on it. Versus that was a good album too,
yeah. So anyway, I like you. I'm not against. I do think they became so saturated. The culture became oversaturated with Pearl Jam a little bit, and I did get a little bit eye rolly, and I think I rejected them, and that's why I don't think I have any of my Pearl Jam CDs anymore, which is a bummer. I think I gave them to a friend of mine. Because I was like, I think I'm over this. And now here it is, 2026. I'm like, man, I really wish I had. I remember exactly
Versus
where I
on.
was when I bought Versus, which I no longer have. Having said all of that, people ask us all the time. They come up to me on the street. They say, Andrew,
big, strong men.
Do you have any
with tears in their eyes?
Do you have any advice for me? I'm about to start a podcast, and I usually say no. Have you heard what I do to shows? I mean, my God, man, just go talk to.
Well, they
literally
do call you
anybody
the
else.
closer, but
They
not
do,
for
yes.
not for the reasons that you would hope.
Exactly, because I've closed down more podcast operations with my advice than more people have started. But I would say that if you're right kind of about Bill Simmons just being that kind of guy who loves that kind of thing, great. You know what? That's good advice for your theme music. Well, first of all, I guess clear the rights is number one.
Yeah.
But number two is choose the thing that puts you, especially if you're playing it live, like, you're not adding the music later. You want to have something underneath you that fills you with confidence and it makes you feel like I am ready to rock this mic. And I'm saying it in this corny way, but I'm actually kind of being serious about it. Like, that's probably what is, he hears this and he gets in a zone. And same with Howard. You can tell Howard's listening to it live because he's bopping along with it.
I'm. This sounds like an exaggeration, but it's not. I would say 20% of why I wanted to get into talk radio and have a talk radio show was for the music bumps and was for the intro music to the show. Now, Jen picked Catch My Disease for TBTL, and I thought it was good and catchy, and I'm happy that we use it. And it's very upbeat, too. I think it hopefully sets a tone for what the energy is going to be overall, typically speaking. But, when I would be listening to sports talk or even just regular talk radio, but even more so sports talk, and they would bump in, is what we would call it. So come back from a commercial with a song that was really upbeat or just kind of got me excited or got me going. I would fantasize. I'd be in my car. I'd be in my shitty Hyundai. Now that you swore, Andrew, it's
we can
all bets are. We can say anything. It's after 7 p.m. and we could say anything we want. But I would be in my crappy Hyundai, the kind of car that if you didn't blast the heat at all times, the car would overheat because it was not cooling properly. Be sitting in this Hyundai, blasting the heat on a summer day with the windows down, listening to KJR or something, sports talk, and hear them bump in with some cool song and then start talking over it. And I would just think, I have to do whatever it takes for that to be me someday. It's maybe I just wanted to be a music DJ on some level or whatever, but it was just that is a big part of the whole thing to me. And it's a little bit of a bummer that for us with the rights and things like that we've, it's never been a huge part of the podcast. It was a big part of the radio side of things. Once we went to the podcast model, that kind of fell away. But that moment of coming back from a break and some music playing and you're waiting just a couple more seconds and then you're talking over. And I know this was a thing for you with the Andrew Walsh show too. I know you, because you're you're into music as well. Picking the right song, picking the right theme song.
Although I don't know that I did pick the right theme song, honestly.
I liked it
at the time.
I liked your intro.
I listened to it now and I'm kind of I don't know if that, here, I have it here.
Is this Vibrant Thing?
It's not. It's something called The Golden Trumpet by Peter Project, and it has a lot of flute.
Right.
I understand why I picked this.
Sample for Vibrant Thing, though? I don't want to be. I'm not trying to be obsessed. The Q-Tip song? I think this is so good, dude.
I would guess that this, I understand why, but this is very much an Andrew theme song pick. It kind of builds, it starts sparse, and then it comes in, and it's easy to talk over. But it also sounds like As It Happens. That flute, the CBC show As It Happens.
Yes, only when you say that, though.
You can hear my public radio pedigree in that. My late 90s, early 2000s public radio pedigree in that song, I think.
You know what, though? I'm not in a bad way. The flute part then did remind me of it a little bit. But no, if again, if I'm listening to Cairo radio at night and I'm driving around and that comes on, that puts me in a certain kind of mood as a listener, I think, or a certain kind of expectation in a think that was good. So
can I play another one for you?
All of this to say we salute Bill Simmons for choosing a weird live Pearl Jam track. I'm totally down with that for him.
The reason I was thinking about this just recently, a day or two ago, is because I have not been listening to the Bill Simmons podcast, but I've been listening to a lot of back episodes of Comedy Bang Bang related shows. So basically subscribed to the Comedy Bang Bang, so I'm behind the paywall. I've nuzzled my way past the paywall. I'm in the paywall now, or I'm on the other side of it. So I'm listening to all these like spin-off shows that drop like monthly, and they're hosted by various characters that were sort of developed on Comedy Bang Bang. And so one of the characters from Comedy Bang Bang is this guy named Randy, and I can't even tell you exactly what his character is. He's just, I think, sort of a kind of a burnout kind of dumb guy. And he's played by Tim Baltz. I don't know if you know that comedian, but he's got a show called Hey Randy. And this is why I've been thinking about it recently, because he's kind of got this intro music, and again, this is supposed
Tim
to
Baltz.
be a joke.
He's
Tim
from
Baltz.
The Righteous Gemstone.
Oh yeah, yes, of course, yes. And this has sort of a sterny kind of quality to it. Now this is supposed to be funny, but it makes me laugh. Let me see.
Please let there be a Bill Simmons ad before this.
I know. If this starts with that rattling drum, I'm seriously like I'm just walking into the ocean, and you got to do the rest of the show.
Fine.
But no, this should not have any ads because it's ad free. But I have to play it from my phone because I can't access this from my computer because of the whole paywall situation. So let's try this. Oh my God, you got to be kidding me. I did it again.
Is that Reggie Watts?
Well, that's the Comedy Bang Bang theme song. What's going on here? How about this?
CBB presents.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Randy. Hey, Randy.
I don't know why I'm playing theme songs through my phone for you on our own podcast. I've clearly lost the thread today, and I've probably lost my job. But yeah, I've been listening to that too, and it's again like I don't really like those sounds, but somehow I just love that that's how that show begins. Hey, Randy.
Totally. That's some kind of a I guess would you call that metal?
Yeah, that seems pretty.
But almost
to me.
in this kind of metal, metally, and I'm not really into that music. But again, the Hey Randy thing really sells it for me.
Randy, what's his phone?
What's his characters? How do you? I mean, is it impossible to?
Well,
describe?
that's why I'm saying he's kind of a I think of him as just kind of a burnouty guy. I listen to these shows as I'm puttering, and so I'm kind of not locked in. It's just sort of like patter. But here I'm on his Wikipedia page, the characters Wikipedia page, or fandom page, or whatever you call it, from the Comedy Bang Bang wiki, and it says Randy Snuts is a character played by Tim Baltz.
Funny name too.
He refills the ice in the urinals in Scott's favorite restaurant, Diadomio's. I don't know how to say it. He also believes that Keanu Reeves' Sandra Bullock film The Lake House is based on his life. He often deplores the scandalous behavior of his off and on again girlfriend Carissa, who, by the way, Carissa is played by Tim Baltz's real life partner, I believe, Lily Sullivan. I believe that they are, and I love her. I think that, and she's she's not also in Righteous Gemstones. He is Catholic. Let's see here. Whatever. I'm losing the thread on this, so I will bail out there. But that's his.
The ice in the urinal says it all.
Yes,
I think that's a real insight into this guy's world. What is the story on that, by the way? First of all, I feel like you don't see it as much anymore. Although maybe it's that you and I are frequenting fewer bars than we used to. But ice in the urinal used to be a kind of a big deal. I mean, I'm guessing that the rumor was it somehow kind of tamped down the kind of, I don't know, the urine smell or something. Why were we doing that?
Okay, first of all, this is so weird. Coincidentally, I've talked about this before in the past, I'm a huge fan of ice in the urinals. It is one of the greatest,
because melting it is kind of satisfying.
Yes,
right?
and I will just say that I'm not saying it's one of the greatest pleasures in life, but I will say it's one of the most underrated pleasures in life.
Yeah.
People don't talk
I'm
about
not mad
it enough.
at it.
And but it just happened to come up yesterday in a text chain or a text conversation that I was having, because I was reminiscing about the bathrooms in this dive bar that you and I don't go to anymore, called the 5 Point. We used to love it. It's down at the bottom of Denny Hill. It's right near the Space Needle, but it's and we don't go there because the person who runs it is not a good person. It's a really our kind of dive bar when we were doing that kind of stuff more.
Yeah.
And I remember even going there with you sometimes. And what I liked about it is they had a bathroom, and the bathroom was very divey. It was very, it wasn't like as specifically
Well,
clean
they had
place.
a periscope in it too, right?
Yeah, well, that's the thing I was telling somebody about. I was reminiscing. So when you're in the small bathroom, technically, geographically, your back is to the Space Needle, but you're also in a bar, so you wouldn't be able to see it anyway. But they built some sort of janky periscope so that when you're standing at the urinal, you're looking straight ahead and you're looking into this tube that goes up to the roof of the building using mirrors and is literally a periscope so that you can stare at the Space Needle, which is technically behind you while you're peeing. And my memory is, Luke, and tell me if I'm wrong, that might have been a trough-style urinal that they kept full of ice.
I think you're right about that. And let me just add, that periscope about Bloody Mary number 3, when you realize that this day is rapidly getting away from you in the best possible way, it's a real vibe.
God, you just put me. It's 2013. It's 2012. We're pulling tabs. It's Sunday. God damn. Yeah, I do miss that place.
This day was. There was supposed to be something potentially productive happening in this day, but that is now that's slipping away from us rapidly.
Let me ask you a question. You want to go out on the boat?
Yeah, I do. I absolutely do. That idea just started sounding really good.
We was hoping for some razzle-dazzle.
Razzle-dazzle.
That's right, man. Razzle-dazzle.
On your mark.
On your mark.
Get set.
Get set.
Now ready.
Ready. Go.
Everybody razzle dazzle.
All right, let's thank some dazzling donors. We don't have that State Farm money that Bill Simmons does, or that what was the second one?
Was it DraftKings?
We don't get that DraftKings money around here. We're not even allowed on DraftKings in this state. But what we do have are amazing people all over the country and the world who are donating money to this show. They don't have to do it, but they are. We were just having an important Business Boys meeting yesterday, Andrew, and getting very excited about the upcoming thon and the thank you stuff. And we had actually a really lovely moment, if I can, and I hope I'm not oversharing here, but you and John and I we were talking about some thank you gifts and also about kind of the levels of donation that we would be suggesting and hoping for during the thon. And I think the three of us had a real moment of gratitude, legitimately, of just being like, this is amazing that this is working, and that we can also make decisions around the listeners as much as we're making decisions around the bottom line of the show. When we, and you'll hear us probably say this a lot when it's actually thon time, but basically what we said was, we don't want to create a scenario where anyone is ever donating an amount of money that is pushing what feels comfortable for them. And if that means less money is coming into TBTL, as long as we're able to have this be three people's jobs, we're good. We don't have to we're not trying to money smacks this. We're not trying to funds max this, like Clavicular's podcast. Like, anyway, it's just it's an amazing thing that this is working. And every once in a while, I think the three of us have a moment of reflection on that. And we had that yesterday. It felt really good, honestly.
And I'm going to even go into more detail on that, Luke. If that doesn't make, I can feel you tensing up as I say those words.
No.
Because it honestly, like, this is a private, since you brought it up, but I will say there was a private conversation between the three of us, and I actually stopped the meeting just to say, listen, this is why I'm so glad we went independent and we can make these decisions, because the conversation started with John saying, like, of course, we hired John for a reason. He's an amazing fundraiser. He's an amazing man, but he's also an amazing fundraiser, and he knows, do I have alarms going off? Oh, I don't know what's going on today. I am out of my goddamn brain. Did you just hear something weird, or am I having a medical experience?
I didn't come down, but sometimes, as I've learned, sometimes there's things that the listeners hear and you hear that I don't hear, so I can't.
I thought I heard an alarm going on.
I can't say definitively.
Smells like toast. Anyway, John was saying, hey, listen, he's like, I know in some ways we're bad capitalists, and I know you guys trust me to, like, kind of set the levels of donation and how they relate to the gifts that people can get. Like, there's a science behind that. And while we love all of our listeners, we do need to sort of say, hey, if we can get you to donate a little bit more, we want to give you this extra special gift as a thank you, right?
Yeah.
That's the whole point. I don't think I'm spilling any secrets here, although sometimes people don't like to hear about, like, the strategy that goes behind those conversations. But what John was saying was, I know that we could probably put one of these special gifts at a higher level, and people might then sign up for that higher level, but I want as many people to have them as possible. And I don't, and basically he didn't use this word, but to use a word that we've been spoofing on a lot lately, is like he didn't want to gatekeep. And he said, like, and we agreed. We're like, yes, like, these are our listeners. These are our friends. And let's not, like, try to, like, monetize everything within an inch of its life. Now of course, you will have to donate to get all the gifts at some level, but we're not, like, putting the screws to you, basically. And we just took a moment to say, isn't this so nice that this is our decision to make? That we can say, we can not take the hit, but we can sort of absorb some of that because we want as many people to enjoy these really fun ideas for gifts that we have this year. And it was just really nice to be like, this is our decision. We don't have anybody, and not to point fingers, but we don't have anybody at American Public Media saying, no, like, why would you ever not monetize this to the full extent of monetization and have that money go to a different podcast in the network or something? Because this is what we do. And these are our listeners. And we truly care, and we have these conversations. So I'm not trying to be self-aggrandizing, but I wanted to explain more.
It's also really nice that we're aligned on it.
Yes.
The three of us.
Yes.
Because I kind of do this thing in our meetings sometimes where I half jokingly, half seriously say, because, again, John is sort of in charge of the business side of what we're doing and the fundraising side. And I will sometimes preface it by going, I know this is going to make you crazy, John, but I'm going to propose something.
Yes.
In this particular case, it was actually, the proposal was from John, essentially. Yes. But sometimes I'll set something up that way, and John will be like, no, man, I'm with you. Like, we want to spread the most joy that we can in this community of listeners and donors, and somehow keep this thing rolling so that, again, we can do it for our job and prioritize it. And that's enough for us. And it's really great that the three of us all think of it that way too. That it isn't like, one or two of us are having a different perspective or a goal with this thing. So,
which is why I tweeted out an AI picture of myself as Jesus. Earlier
I thought
today.
it was a doctor.
Well, it is a Red Cross.
I thought that was a doctor dressed like Jesus with a magical flame in one hand, healing someone like a doctor does. Let's take our first dazzling donor today.
Indeed.
It's our friend Amy Shepard out there in Tennessee, Memphis to be specific.
Indeed.
Shepard pronounced ba.
I loved you, dude. Love it. This
technically a goat, but it's pretty close.
Oh, I wouldn't have even known.
I could have gotten away with that, right?
Well, hey, Amy is the goat of donors today.
Absolutely.
And this
Amy.
is, I told you this off air because we prepare these dazzling donors in advance, and so we had this dialed up for today. What a coincidence. When you started talking about the Vetter Cup at the beginning of the show, I almost said, a listener texted me last night with this text. And Amy, this... yes, my phone keeps making noises. I gotta figure
maybe
this
that's
out.
what the thing was.
That was it. Okay, but anyway, out of the blue, I got a text message during the game yesterday from Amy that just says, having to explain the Vetter Cup to my 11 is torturous because he is like, so Vetter is a Padres fan or a Mariners fan? And then I just wrote, just tell him it's stupid. And she said, that's basically what I ended up saying. And then we went on from there, and we were texting throughout the rest of the game, me and Amy. So what a coincidence that Amy is our dazzling donor today.
It was meant to be. Amy says, so this is the latest I've ever procrastinated my message. I just got out of a 4-hour cave in Mammoth Cave. It was fun. Wow.
I used to go there.
Mammoth Cave. Is that in Tennessee somewhere?
I think so. We used to go on road trips as a family. I think maybe we'd take vacations down to Florida, and we would stop places along the way. And I know we used to go to Mammoth Cave, East Tennessee, it says here.
This year has been bonkers, and I enjoy the sweet vacation. TBTL is from the horrors of the news. Thanks for all the tens and friendos. Keep Memphis in your thoughts. And Hollywood Mike, let's get that three-peat. Or have the Mariners get to the World Series. Go Seahawks and go eat a bagel. Power out. Andrew, can you unpack that?
Yes. So I know that I did not know this about Amy, but I know that Hollywood Mike, who lives in the City of Angels, is a Dodgers fan. And so Amy saying to Hollywood Mike, let's get a three-peat, that must be talking about the Dodgers winning the World Series again.
Sounds like
this
Amy
year.
has become a Dodgers fan.
Sounds like it has, or has been. I don't know for how long. But I do like the fact that Amy also says, or have the Mariners win a World Series. Like, okay, keep us in your thoughts.
Yeah, based
and
on
prayers.
last night, that's a tall order. But you never know. The season is long. Life is long, if you're lucky. And we're so lucky to have Amy supporting the show. Amy, thank you so much. Thanks for just being such a pal for all of these years. Was Amy? This is why do I do this, Andrew?
was
Amy
OG.
known as Madam Woolite?
That rings a bell.
Online?
Yeah, maybe on social
I
media.
feel like that
I
might
think
have been
you're
a
right.
social media
Yeah,
thing. I love. I'm
yeah,
giving
think you're-
myself a bell of confirmation,
Yeah.
even though I don't actually know. When I think of Amy, I think of Madam Woolite. So, Amy, I hope I'm not confusing that with somebody else. But anyway, thank you
Right.
for all your help with TBTL over the years, Maestro.
On your mark. On your mark. Get set. Get set. Now ready. Ready. Go. Everybody razzle dazzle.
Hey, look who it is. It's Dylan Ahola. Dylan, as in Matt Dillon, and the last name like Ahola.
Gotcha.
Interesting. Let's see. Interesting that Dylan went with Matt Dillon. I mean, I guess it's the same spelling.
Yes.
Because you could go with Bob Dylan, but that could be confusing because it's a different spelling. And
But the pronouncer actually is helpful because it is,
It is.
you know, a different spelling of the traditional Dylan first name.
yeah. Matt Dillon famously in the movie Singles, which was a big part of my
it's
grunge
all coming
obsession as a
together.
kid, watching Pearl Jam on Almost Live. And then I believe the name of Matt Dillon's band in the movie Singles is Citizen Dick.
Oh, is that true? That sounds. That is a pretty good made-up grunge band name.
I should go back and watch that movie sometime. I wonder, I mean, it's Cameron Crowe.
Yeah.
I wonder how it kind of holds up. I mean, I just was absolutely obsessed with it when I was in high school. I just couldn't believe that there was a major Hollywood movie where the people were standing in places in Seattle that I had stood. I just had never experienced anything like that. You
As
know?
somebody who is very culturally Gen X, you might be surprised to hear I've never seen Singles.
I guess I'm not shocked because probably in high school, were you like, you're probably not a huge grunge guy in high school?
No,
or
I
maybe you were
was. I
more-
loved Nirvana. I loved Pearl Jam. I think I just missed it somehow,
Mm-hmm.
and then after a while, it got so big.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And so iconic that I
Yeah.
think I would always feel like an outsider watching it, which is interesting because that's also a Matt Dillon movie, The Outsiders. But yeah, I don't know why. And at this point, I sort of feel like I don't
I'd feel
want
kind of like a drugstore cowboy watching.
Yeah, right. All right, Tex.
God, there's something
I'm just gonna
about
list
Mary.
all the S.E. Hinton movies that he was in. He was in Tex
Was he in
and The
Rumblefish?
Outsiders, and I think I want to say he was in Rumblefish, although I don't think I've seen that one, so I can't say for sure. Yeah, but I have a friend who has never seen The Big Lebowski, and while that seems shocking to me, and he loves movies, I'm like, yeah, I understand it. Like, you just have heard about it. It's lived in your head for so long that, like, it seems more like a chore to go back and try to watch it and understand its relevance from 40 years ago or whatever.
I honestly think at this very point, not this very point, but at this point, The Big Lebowski could honestly be a tough watch. Not because it's not a good movie, but because there's, depending on the sort of social circles you move in, there's so much energy around the film. There's so much obsession with the jokes. And I've said this before, but like I saw The Big Lebowski in the theater and walked out going, well, that was a miss. You know, I did not get the film. You don't get the film. When I saw it the first time, and it literally took people in my life, people whose kind of opinions on things I respected, riffing on the film all the time, and that kind of like long tail of the movie for me to start to think that the jokes were funny, and then of course seeing it, you know, with that kind of benefit of that hindsight and encouragement, and then of course I developed the same obsession with it that so many people have. But like, can you imagine going in now and like just watching it for what it is? And like, I guess the feeling I would have is like, there's no way I'm going to catch up to the energy that everyone else has who's watched this 30 times.
Exactly.
And quoted it for like 20 years to their friends.
So I have a question for you about The Big Lebowski. You've mentioned that before. I don't remember the first time I saw The Big Lebowski, but definitely it was already a rental by that point. So let's see. It came out in 98. I'm pretty sure that I watched it in college. So, you know, I probably watched it when it was relatively new as, you know, I guess a VHS I probably rented. But all of that is to say, I know I rented it and watched it with the context that it was a Coen Brothers movie. And I already knew what the Coen Brothers were. It was during that period of time where I was like sort of really starting to absorb all of the directors and trying to watch, you know, the famous directors of the time and your Burtons and your, you know, and everybody. I'm trying to think of who else fits that category. But anyway,
Paul Thomas Anderson.
Sure, yes, exactly.
Maybe Tarantino.
So when I sat down to watch it, I'd already seen Fargo. I already knew, like, I like the Coen Brothers. Brothers, so I don't remember my initial reaction to it other than, oh, that's another good Coen Brothers movie. Did you see it in the theater with that sort of context too, or were you just like, I don't know, this is a movie people are talking about?
I think what happened was I had seen and really liked Raising Arizona.
Okay, so you did have that.
Which
context.
is I hadn't seen and still haven't seen Miller's Crossing or Blood Simple.
Okay.
I didn't get Barton Fink, or as I call it, Brain Donors.
Sure, yeah, very similar.
But I remember like loving Raising Arizona because Raising Arizona is a pretty straightforward sort of film. You know what I mean? It's a kind of like this, the baby gets kidnapped. And it's full of hijinks, but it's not literally in that one of the guys, people's named High.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like I feel like Raising Arizona is a very accessible movie. And so I remember watching that and loving it. And I think I was going into The Big Lebowski expecting the same film, whereas The Big Lebowski is way more sprawling, way more kind of like unexplained or underexplained kind of quirky behavior from folks. And, you know, like that's the kind of stuff. So when I saw it, it didn't really click for me because I was going in expecting a pretty straightforward movie like Raising Arizona is, and I got something different. Now, the funny part is, with the benefit of time, I like the weird parts. I love the like cop calling him a gold bricker and like, you know what I mean? Just like
remind me
yelling.
of that. I don't remember the cop. Oh, is that when he throws the mug at his head when he's in the sheriff's office?
Yeah, and he's calling him like, and he's like yelling at him, calling him a gold bricker, and he's like, "Get out of my town" and stuff. Just like weird shit, like Jackie Treehorn, and even like Maud. Is that Julianne Moore's character's name, Maud?
I think so.
I think saying he's good and thorough, like with the reference to her like fertility, like just all that stuff.
He's a good man and thorough.
Yeah, exactly. That stuff now. And again, a lot of it is people quoting it to me. Like I was dating somebody who was really into the movie. And again, she would sort of say stuff from the movie like that, and it almost had this like kind of manifestation effect where then when I heard people say it in the movie, then it was funny to me because someone whose opinion I admired basically thought it was funny.
Yeah,
so,
right. And then you end up kind of sharing that, and then you kind of have your language that's sort of built out of that.
Absolutely. Here's what Dylan has to say in Dylan's dazzling donor message. Hey, digital friendos, between my last donor message and this one, not much has changed. I'm always and forever going to say thank you, and I love being able to bring you all on my travels around the world to always feel like I have friends with me wherever I am. This last May, I spent a week hiking the Inca Trail to Machu Picchu. Now, Dylan, would that my life were so interesting that Andrew, imagine I checked in with you on a yearly basis, and I said, yeah, it hasn't been much happening in my life in the last year, except that time I hiked to Machu Picchu.
Right.
That would count as a lot in my life.
Yeah, that would be probably the only thing I talk about for the rest of my life.
It'd be my entire personality. I'd even learn how to say Machu Picchu. I hiked the trail to Machu Picchu and spent almost the whole time listening to you. So thanks for making the journey just a little bit easier. I like to think of us, Andrew, as like a bear, you know, those like the honey bear, you know, I don't know who makes that, but like the plastic bear that's got honey in it.
Sure.
One of my early and only like legit backpacking trips that I did, it was when I was a kid. I was probably like, I don't know, maybe 13, 14 years old. And it was me and my dad and my friend Ben and his dad and this one other kid and his dad. So it was like 3 kids and 3 dads. And I did the thing that a lot of people do. We were backpacking off the trail into the wilderness and then camping and fishing and stuff. And I overpacked the pack. It's way too heavy. And my dad was telling me that's going to be too heavy. And I was like, I got it. And then, of course, 8 miles in, I'm like, this pack is way too heavy. What was I doing? But I remember one of my friends, I think it was Ben, had a thing of that honey bear on a string around his neck. And he was like, anytime you get really tired, you just take a glug of this honey.
Really?
Yeah. And it's just pure energy.
Yeah, sure.
Right? If you think about it.
Yes, yeah.
And I don't know, how much of it was from a calorie standpoint and how much of it was just kind of like psychosomatic. But I just remember being like, I got to get another glug of that honey. And then I just like feel like I was getting energized from it. And then I would just like go up the next hill. That's what we were for Dylan when Dylan was hiking to Machu Picchu.
I would assume.
Okay. As a little self-promotion, I am an active travel agent with a company called Fora. Boy, we've got a lot of donors who are in the travel space, Andrew.
I know.
Like, this is a very cool thing. We've got some adventurous folks who listen to this show. I'm an active travel agent with a company called Fora. That's Fora, by the way. If anyone out there needs a friendly travel agent to help them out with all their travel needs, they can email me. It's Dylan, that's Dillon, .ahola, AHOLA, Dylan.ahola at fora.travel. Or look me up on any of your choice of search engines with my name, Dylan Ahola Fora. The SEO is strong with that one. I can imagine it would be, Dylan. I think that's the Dylan Ahola who works with Fora that you're going to probably get right away. So Dylan says, anywho, power out. Well, Dylan, thank you so much for supporting the show. Everybody, if you want to go on an adventure or even something very chill, look Dylan up and have Dylan help you out with that. So thank you so much to our dazzling donors today for making TBTL possible.
Hello and welcome to Top Story.
This is a dicey top story for us today, Andrew, because neither of us are financial experts or, experts in the ways of crypto and market movement, etc. But I just noted this because were you familiar at all with the sort of the phenomenon that was the AllBirds shoe situation?
When I first read this, I was like, oh no, when I saw it in your show sheet, and then I looked it up, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm kind of familiar with that scripty font logo. That's where everything starts for me. And then I was, but yeah, just very much from afar, but I had to be reminded of it.
Yeah, AllBirds, I've never actually got a pair, but I might have considered it. They were this shoemaker. They made these kind of wool sneakers that were like a pretty big phenomenon in particularly Silicon Valley. Like because they were very simple. I think they were simple and comfortable and not like overly sort of ostentatious, but also had a little bit of flair to them. They were just kind of a nice in-between kind of piece of footwear. And like a lot of things in a place like Silicon Valley, once the right kind of person was wearing them, then everybody else kind of followed suit. And at some point, this company was valued at $4 billion. I never actually bought them, but they're very identified with a certain kind of person in the world, particularly a certain kind of guy, kind of like the tech vest also kind of was.
Is that the level, kind of tech guy vest is wearing
very
these
much
shoes?
like a tech guy who's doing like some kind of incubator.
Okay.
And is like, wants to be comfortable and wear sneakers to work, but also, sneakers that look nice.
Yeah.
Like it was part of an overall like lifestyle of a certain kind of, that's how I perceived it to be. And then I thought it was kind of like, and then of course, like anything that's like very in style for a while, then they fell very out of style because they got too popular. They got too popular too fast. It became valued at $4 billion. And then, of course, 10 years later, everyone's like, oh, remember AllBirds? Which is just like a victim of their own success because there was a period of time where everybody in Silicon Valley was wearing them. And so I saw a story in the SF Gate, which I know is not the Chronicle. I've learned this. In the SF Gate the other day that was like, the last AllBirds store is closing. And it was kind of being treated... In the article, it was kind of like a little bit of a, good riddance to bad rubbish kind of a vibe in the story. Kind of like, can you believe we were all wearing these shoes kind of energy? At least that was my perception of the piece. And I was like, yeah, well, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And they'd gone through, basically, again, the problem for them was the shoes got really, really popular. They couldn't figure out how to, like, start putting out other things. You know who's done an amazing job of all this is Crocs, of all people.
You mean just sort of expanding the idea of what Crocs are, or are they doing things in other spaces that I don't know about?
Expanding the idea of what Crocs are, and also just somehow, and this is what somehow AllBirds wasn't able to do, but like when Crocs came out, I remember I was not a Crocs wearer, but I did think, wow, those are some comfy, spongy kind of, Crocs. And then they were so popular that I was like, well, now those are just a joke that nobody would wear anymore. And somehow they rose from the ashes of that. Like I was talking the other day about how it feels like fashion cycles are compressed right now. Like it's not a 20-year cycle. It's like, and somehow Crocs went from being like the thing everybody was wearing, like because they were comfortable and, in the summertime and whatever. And then it was like, oh, that was really time-stamped in time of a thing we were all doing or a lot of people were doing. And then somehow they just came back way faster than I expected. And when they did that, they also, like, Becca has a pair of Crocs that she wore all through Europe that don't look like what you think of as Crocs. They're just like shoes that are comfortable. When you and I drove the RV to Austin, I was wearing Crocs the whole time.
Oh, I forgot about that.
They were
You got
these
some
blue,
kind of yeah.
because I didn't want to wear socks with my shorts, but I didn't want to wear shoes that were going to get kind of funky from no socks. And there were these kind of Crocs. I still have them. They're like nice looking shoes, but they're very comfortable. Anyway, all that is to say, AllBirds could not figure out the Crocs formula for somehow staying relevant and kind of diversifying the brand. So whatever, they go out of business. And then today I just see this story. AllBirds, the once buzzy maker of wool sneakers, valued at more than $4 billion in its heyday, announced a new business plan just days before it was set to close down for good. AI computing infrastructure. By the way, this is Subrat Patnaik and Carmen Renicky writing for Bloomberg. And in a stock market that's reacted in knee-jerk fashion to just about anything related to artificial intelligence, it did just that, sending AllBirds shares up 582% by the time trading ended Wednesday. The response underscored the intensity of the speculative mania around AI, which has fueled stampedes into would-be winners and panicked pullbacks from an industry that seems at risk of being undone by the competitive threat. AllBirds, which plans to rechristen itself as New Bird AI, is not the first struggling company to try to get another lease on life by seizing on the hot new thing. How in the world are we tolerating this? Like, you've had a good run as a shoe company, you failed, but are you allowed to just declare yourself AI and then raise 120? They raised $120 million on Wednesday.
Oh, we should do that.
$150 million. The stock was worth nearly $150 million when markets closed on Wednesday. This was, by the way, up from $22 million. So let's just put it this way. Them just going, guess what? We're something called New Birds AI made them $130 million.
Yeah, before they we're just changing our name. Let's change our name to TBTL AI. Now,
I could, that cash could get me out of a couple of jams.
Now, like you set up, I know very, very little about this world, obviously, so I'm not the right person to really probably weigh in on it. But to be serious about it for 1 second, I sort of see it like a shoe company rebranding as an AI compute infrastructure play, to me, is the kind of narrative shift that integrates retail and it really ignites retail enthusiasm. You know, the spike in retail sentiment coupled with a sharp increase in trading volume and the elevated volatility around Bird following its AI pivot are exactly the signals that MEME-ETF is designed to capture in real time, Luke. I mean, do you
Can't
follow?
believe you did that off the dome.
You could really tell that was off the dome the way I was stumbling. That is a quote from Dave Mazza, Chief Executive Officer at Roundhill, whatever the hell that is.
I promise you, it ain't round and it ain't a hill.
I mean, nothing kills my soul more than that quote that I just tried to read to you.
Absolutely brutal.
God.
Such name changes, I'm reading again from the Bloomberg piece, such name changes were legion during the dot-com bubble. I didn't actually know this. Long Island Iced Tea Corporation rebranded itself Long Blockchain Corporation during the early days of the crypto craze. Bitcoin miners are now going AI, and in February, a tiny former karaoke company's stock soared and triggered a fierce sell-off across the logistics industry when it trumpeted its AI tool for trucking companies. So a karaoke company, they don't even
say
name.
which one it is. There are two big ones, right? There's Carafun, and then there's the one with the bird on it. What is the butterfly.
Yeah, that's isn't that called Songfly or something? Or I don't know. That sounds like a shoe AllBirds would make.
Yeah, they used to.
But I did see somebody put online that they were going to get a tattoo of that little weird butterfly creature.
That's a great
that actually
idea.
Would be a pretty funny tattoo if you spend enough time in karaoke bars. But I mean, actually, of all people, I was listening to Pablo Torre talking about this the other day with Katie Nolan, and I mean, neither of them are particular experts in the field, but they said something that was interesting to me, which was basically the question was is AI going to be what everyone fears or thinks it might be, as far as this is going to change every aspect of life. And one of them was saying they were suspicious. They thought it's just going to be kind of better Google, and it's going to it'll have its uses, but it is not going to change every single aspect of our life the way that the most bullish predictions are. And then Katie said something too, which chilled me to the core, which is like, yeah, but then our economy will collapse, because that's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is all of the growth in our economy on paper is people, companies dumping billions of dollars into AI. And then, by the way,
and dumping employees.
And also passing the same billions of dollars around in these weird loops of money.
Yes.
So it's a very and again, I am not an economist, but one look at my bank account would indicate I'm not good with money. But this idea that either AI wipes out every job in the world because it is what they say it's going to be, or it isn't what they say it's going to be, and the economy collapses because all of the money has been shifted into AI's dominance. Neither one's great. Neither one is going to be particularly good.
I was on KUOW a couple of months ago when the so-called millionaires tax was still being debated, and it has passed. And just for the record, it's called the millionaires tax. It is the first income tax in Washington state, but it's not on your first $1 million that you earn in a year. It's only a tax on anything that you earn above $1 million a year, which seems reasonable to me, right? But of course, all of the usual interests are just freaking out about this. We'll see if it even withstands all of the challenges in court or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm in there with people. I'm in this whatever roundtable in KUOW with people who are more on board with this. In fact, one that I later learned works for Amazon. I did not realize she worked for Amazon when I was taking big poos all over Amazon during the show.
Pulling a real Lucy.
Yes, exactly. But all of that is to say, that conversation just sort of lives in my head so much because people are so these ultra rich, these more money than you could spend in 1,000 lifetimes. Rich people are freaking out and saying this is the worst thing in the world that can happen when you tax the rich. And then I saw a headline the other day that says, and I called it up here to make sure that I'm right, because saying these words sounds crazy. Amazon CEO Jassy defends $200 billion spending on AI. $200 billion the company is spending on AI. This is the same company that just laid off, was it 30,000 people in 2 rounds of layoffs? I think 14,000 and 16,000. Why are we in any way scared about losing these companies? I just sort of feel like the corporate interests are we can't tax them. They'll leave. What are they doing for us? They are clearly trying to shed human capital as much as possible and replace it with robots. It's just so unbelievably insulting to me.
Although, can we tax the robots that are earning over $1 million?
That I do think we should do. Exactly.
If you want to talk about how I think that we should talk about what I would consider to be very logical and morally defensible taxes on the super wealthy. Did you see what Mamdani put out?
I have not
yesterday?
actually watched it, but I saw reactions to it. And that's what in my head when I was saying that too. I saw somebody say,
freaking good.
Some co-founder of X was kind of like, this is the scariest thing I've ever seen. Him talking about taxing some properties in New York
I'm going to try to
City.
play this for you, okay? It's off of TikTok, so I don't know how this is going to work. But he's standing on the street. This is from April 15th. It says, Happy Tax Day, New York. We're taxing the rich.
Yeah, I love it.
I said I was going to tax the rich. Well, today, we're taxing the rich. I'm thrilled to announce we've secured a pied-à-terre tax, the first in New York's history. This is an annual fee on luxury properties worth more than $5 million, whose owners do not live full-time in the city. Like for this penthouse.
He's standing
Hedge fund CEO Ken Griffin bought for $238 million. This pied-à-terre tax is specifically designed for the richest of the rich, those who store their wealth in New York City real estate, but who don't actually live here. But even so, they're able to reap the huge financial rewards of owning property in, dare I say, the greatest city in the world. And most of the time, these units are sitting empty, since again, they don't actually live here. This is a fundamentally unfair system that hurts working New Yorkers. Now, it's coming to an end. This tax will raise at least $500 million directly for the city. It'll help fund things like free childcare, cleaner streets, and safer neighborhoods. As mayor, I believe everyone has a role to play in contributing to our city, and some a little bit more than others. Happy Tax Day, New York.
Come on.
Love it.
That is the messaging, if you ask me. Like, the guy whose penthouse he was referring to, probably not stoked, but just about everybody else would be. And I'm also very skeptical of the idea. I mean, because the thing they've been saying about New York City for years, maybe 100 years, I don't know how far back it goes, is that if you try to tax the rich, they will leave New York City. And there's been forever, there have been stories about how everybody's leaving New York because it's too expensive and too many taxes, et cetera. Rich people, I think there's some data that they actually don't migrate as much as you might think because A, they're rich and they like being where they are and they can actually absorb the small, like they're threatening to, or maybe, the people that think that they're sort of advocating for them are always threatening that the rich are going to leave. But I actually think that, they tend to stick around despite whatever the threats are because they like living in Manhattan or they like having an empty pied-à-terre in Manhattan that costs $238 million.
And because there's not enough room in Florida for them all to be there at the same time.
They can't all move to Cocoa Beach, Florida, where I was and start driving an Uber, where people can download their politics for an hour-and-a-half drive to Vero Beach. Boy, that was a day.
No.
There's a right way to rock and a wrong way to roll. You can just listen to your soul. Just remember that life is number one. You can be having so much fun. Just remember that life is much fun. You can be number one.
We have a lot of familiar faces and friends and names in the Blur's Day segment today, Luke. If anybody wants to wish anybody, including themselves, a happy birthday, you can email me, Andrew, at tbtl.net, and put Blur's Day in the subject line. We got one from our pal Maggie from the middle shelf, who says, I would like to wish my wonderful Arlington daughter, Erica, the happiest of Blur's Days. You are the light of my life, the kindest, smartest, most creative person I know. I'm so happy and thrilled to be your mom and to see you flourish. You're an inspiration to everyone who knows you. I love you so much. Love, your mom from the middle shelf, but I'm looking to graduate to top shelf soon.
Yeah. That's very sweet. I've seen those two together, and they're absolutely adorable.
Absolutely.
And their relationship is very, very sweet.
Erica's a great photographer, too.
Speaking of karaoke software, Maggie can really bring down the house.
Yeah.
With
It's
the
called
singing.
Sunfly, by the way, is that little fly.
Sunfly.
Sunfly, yeah. Hey, this is from Michelle, but I think this is our pal Michelle, who says, I'd like to wish a happy Blurs to my 5 Thomas, who is turning 30 on the 16th. He's smart, talented, and a very nice person. We love him so. 10s with young 5s. This is what happens, so be prepared.
They should be so lucky. I know about this kid, and I'm going to call him a kid because I'm 19 years older.
30.
But this is a very, very, very smart individual.
Nice.
I was hanging out with Michelle back when I was in, and her husband back when I was in the Twin Cities a while ago, and getting the download on this guy, and he's got a brain on him. So
you're making us look
This
bad,
is what happens
Thomas.
when you're 5. This is what happens ideally when your 5s grow up and they're like Thomas.
Yes. Happy Blur's Day. To think that he might have once watched Thomas the Tank Engine, and now here he is, ruling the world.
He's a train conductor.
And now he's a train conductor. Anders says, happy belated Blur's Day to my Brad. No, not my Brad. What am I doing? Happy belated Blur's Day to Brad, my TBTL progenitor, who turned me onto this. Okay, I'll do it. It says, ideally read this in your best Fred Schneider voice. I don't usually follow kind of director prompts like that, but I love
line
Anders,
reading.
so I'm
You
going
don't
to do
like a
this.
line read.
Yeah. Let's see here. My TBTL progenitor who has turned me into it. Okay. We're going to start over. It's been a great day for me. Happy belated Blur's Day to Brad, my TBTL progenitor, who turned me onto this funky little podcast. I was told to do that in my best Fred Schneider voice back in 2008.
Well, we have different Fred Schneiders.
We all have our own Fred. You are a great brother-in-law, excellent husband to my sister, and fantastic dad to my niece and nephew. And speaking of your offspring, happy early Blur's Day to Nolan, who was a TBTL 5 back in 2008 when he was 6, and now is a full-blown 10, all grown up and graduated and working as a nurse. So proud of you.
Are you kidding me?
Nice.
This person was a TBTL kiddo, was a kid listening to TBTL, probably being forced to, and is now graduated, gone to nursing school, working as a nurse. I mean, I guess that the math works out. If we've been doing this for 17 years, that's a thing that could have occurred over that period of time. But that just still seems amazing to me.
You know what they say? 5s becoming 10s, 10s becoming wolves. P. Fletch, our pal P. Fletch, who also had a birthday recently. Happy birthday to P. Fletch. Says happy birthday to Captain Will, the pilot, on his actual Blur's Day. That would make this a golden Blur's.
It's actually Will doing a flyover right now.
Nice, I love that. Oh, did he tilt the wings? Last
He
week,
did.
Will
He's gonna
made
be in trouble for that.
Last week, Will made my Blur's Day very special. He flew my son Gus and the Ballard High School bands to New Orleans in the Did you not watch the video that she sent us?
I don't think I did.
Oh, yeah. Phyllis sent us a video of this. In the pre-flight announcement, he wished the kids good luck and wished me a happy Blur's Day. After we landed, he treated me and my uncle to Blur's Day dinner. It was fun to explain to people that we're friends because of a podcast. They don't make them like Will every day. Happy Blur's Day, Captain. What you do is so important.
Wow.
And happy Blur's Day to me, too. Absolutely. These are two luminaries in the TBTL-averse. Happy Blur's Day to both
Absolutely.
of
Happy
you.
Blur's, P. Fletch, and that's very cool. I'm surprised with all of my Alaska airlining. I haven't randomly gotten Captain Will, although I don't know what his schedule is, but maybe we can coordinate on that.
Yeah. Brandon says, happy Blur's Day to our son Aiden as he officially enters adulthood. 18 years ago, our little bear Aiden showed up a month and a half ahead of schedule. He was less than 5 pounds when we brought him back to our one-bedroom condo. We couldn't believe that they would let us bring this tiny baby home by ourselves. He has turned into an incredible young man. Mama Bear and I love you. We're proud of the man you've grown to be and are behind you as you start your next chapter. Happy
Very
Blur's
sweet.
Day, Aiden.
You know what I've noticed, Andrew?
That this is the same music that Howard Stern uses to start his show.
Yeah, this is Rob Zombie. It's a kind of a different side of Rob.
Yeah, different side of Rob.
But like, I watch that show. Well, I don't watch it all the way through, but I see clips of the Office Hours show that Tim Heidecker does with Vic Berger and DJ Doug Pound, and I think it's Vic. Maybe it's sort of they share duties, but like Vic and maybe to some degree Doug Pound, they play drops on the show a lot. It's honestly, I think they probably stole it from us. We invented the idea of playing audio drops. Yeah. But they use this drop all the time because
the same exact
this is
one.
just what comes up. This is like if you just go on the internet and you just Google like awe crowd or whatever, it's just the one that's floating around. So it's kind of funny to think of like Vic Berger at some point, you know, needing a sound effect to do this thing. And then when they play it, when I'm watching that show, I'm like, oh, that's our awe. We got the same awe.
Well, you know, I kind of tried to purposely do that once. The Kevin and Bean show used to play just like kind of a generic kid saying yay that I loved, and they would play it a lot. I kind of can't stop the music to play this now, but let's just play it.
Where's it from? Oh,
and
yeah,
I
that's
just
a
went
good
online,
one.
and I was just like, I just want one like just that style of yay, and so I tried to find one as close to the Kevin and Bean one as possible.
That's nice. I like that.
Yeah, I like it. I'll send it to you later. Jordan
I got
from
this one the other day.
I hate you because you look different.
I think that's also one of this, like, that's the standard internet drop for that.
Tom Brady, ladies and gentlemen. Jordan from University Place says, hey, friendos, I would love to wish a most wonderful birthday to a friend and longtime 10, Deb. She is such an amazing friend, and I'm so grateful to have her and her family in my life. You are the best. Love you all lots.
Cute.
Yeah, happy Blur's Day, Deb. Ooh.
Nobody has that one,
got
Andrew.
The flutter, yeah.
Nobody's got this one.
You gotta just drain your battery on your sound machine just enough.
You got to get it just to the right amount of battery life to get this sound. This is TBTL proprietary audio information.
You have to, if I were you, Luke, when we're done with the show, and I'm going to tell you what to do with your time, you should record a clean version of that into your computer, because you know what that is. That is like the beige or blue tissues at the bottom of a tissue box, letting you know that there's not too much life left on that machine, I'm afraid.
And I'll never get back to, I could replace the battery, but then I'm going to get a full strength sound. Although it raises the question, the other sound effects are fine. I think.
Yeah, it's pretty
now
good.
you're right, though. I should just save it as it is, because that then we have it forever.
Exactly.
But I wonder if because if I put a new battery in, it might go back to full strength, and then we'll have to wait years for it to get back to its beautiful weirdness.
Yeah. So I'm taking so many photos of our puppy Lucy now, because I'm realizing she's going to look like I love picking her up. And you keep in mind, I'm somebody who always has had cats before, so I'm used to picking up cats. So I'm picking her up all the time and just like snuggling with her. And I literally cannot wrap my head around the fact that someday she'll be too big to do that with. I mean, I might be able to pick her up and move her, but like, I just can't imagine not having these moments. So I'm taking some photos, but also she's changing before our eyes, not just with behavior, but last night I was looking at her and I was like, her whole muzzle is getting darker. And I took some photos and I sent them to a friend, and I didn't even mention the muzzle. I sent them to our friend Libby, and she's like, I just saw her on Sunday and her nose was not that color. Like her whole muzzle. Wow. And you know who she's starting to look like? Homer Simpson. You know how Homer Simpson...
say Dabney Coleman.
She's not that great of a puppy. I mean, give me a break.
She's not that handsome.
But she's developing like a Homer Simpson-y, like, a browner part of her face than the rest of her. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know how I feel about that. It's weird, but I'm like, I guess I got to take a lot of pictures now, because first of all, what else are you going to do when you're standing outside with her? But also, like, she's just, I'm going to look back at this someday, and it's going to be hard for me to sort of like align myself with the fact that it's the same dog.
How big do you think she's going to get based on her mom and stuff like that, and whatever you know about her dad?
I am guessing around 30
that
pounds.
Rolling Stone.
Yeah. Vives and I are both thinking around 30 pounds. I just got a photo.
Oh, wow. That's decent size.
Yeah, because her mom is 26 pounds. Lola, if you'll recall, is 26 pounds.
Yeah,
and she thinks like she might have like longer legs. Genevieve, though, just sent me a photo. I guess the DNA package just arrived. Genevieve will be swabbing Lucy today. She is so excited to find, because we literally don't know one single breed that is in this dog. We have a lot of guesses and assumptions, but we don't know.
Well, you need to amend something you said the other day, which is that you've been deeply incurious about genetic testing on yourself and others, but apparently not as it relates to dogs.
I didn't get this test. I would never have.
I think it's interesting.
Genevieve got a DNA test on Bingo. Do you remember that? And it was just like, I don't know, like mostly American Cat or something. Like, I don't know. Like, cats especially, like, no offense to cats, but I'm like, it's just, he's our Bingo. We don't need to know more than that. I guess dogs, because people talk about breeds so much, and usually one of the very first questions is like, what kind of dog is she? Like, it's kind of interesting to know. And there are some behavioral things as well. Like, she's shepherding Bingo around the house. I told you Bingo's our cat, and I tell you that they wrestle a lot and and everything. But what I realize she's doing is, and she does it to me sometimes too, she like shepherds you. She pushes you with her side, and I see her doing that. She's corralling him all the time. Poor son of a gun. And so I'm like, okay, so it is a little bit interesting from behavior
maybe she has a little healer in her, a little shepherd, kind of something in there.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that she's also Albanian. I mean, that's
what I was going to say. If she gets onto the goddamn Albanian website, the Wikipedia, before I do,
that'll be something. Yeah.
Bad news, Andrew. You got a mobster on your hands.
Yeah, that's right.
/ motivational speaker.
Anyway, I don't know how we got on all of that. Have we done Schaefer's Blur Say yet? I don't think so. This is our friend Schaefer down in
Austin,
right? Austin, right? It says,
the
please,
front page?
I believe so. That's the pub down in Austin. Everybody should check out. Run by Schaefer, who says, please give a very happy Blur's Day to our good buddy Adam. Used to be my 11. Now it's safe to say he's a solid 10. Either way, I'm his daddy, and we love him no matter which direction he parks his pickup. Thanks, Andy.
Okay. Whatever you got to do.
It says, thanks, Andy here. Schaefer calling me Andy. That's interesting. I don't know if that's a reference to Have you been calling me Andy lately, Luke?
Not that I remember,
I don't know
but
if
again,
that's
I black out for large sections of the program.
Good. I hope you blacked out during like the first section of today's
I
show
honestly thought
because
that
there
was one of the
some-
funniest. Between all
was
of the
so
cup
bad.
trouble I was having, between the Vetter Cup talk and then the trouble getting the Bill Simmons music up and playing, I actually thought it was a very, very strong opening 20 minutes of the program. Also,
so messy.
I'm so excited about this, Andrew. You know what I got here? And I know we got to
Tetanus
go.
from drinking out of that cup.
Not yet, but I'll tell you later today. No, I got a new. You can't because of the light. This is very
timer.
underwhelming right now, but because of the way the light's coming in my studio. But what I have is a new stopwatch that is very, very visible to me.
Mm-hmm.
I had this other one. This was my old. I've been using this one for so many
that's
years.
a little tiny white one that
and it was the problem was
it's
it
not
was
very
getting.
designy.
And forget the. Actually, you know what? I don't mind the design.
It's not
of
terrible,
it.
but it's
kind
too
of classic.
logo-y and stuff. Yeah, I like the new one though. It looks like something from the movie 2001.
The problem with the old one, which was a Comarch, was just that it was losing its kind of like resolution, so that I couldn't actually
yeah.
see. It wasn't.
Like
it
an
wasn't
old Game
illuminated
Boy.
enough.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. Like it was kind of burning out, whatever that kind of thing is, and so.
Yep.
And so I couldn't actually see where we were in the show, and now I got this new one, and it's bright and illuminated, and I know we've been doing this for 91 minutes and 38 seconds, give or take.
But it feels like 94.
Yeah, it does.
Anna in Greenwood. Oh, this is our friend Anna. This buddy Anna. Hi, Anna. Anna says, I don't usually blurs myself, but Andrew's celebrity birthdays on Monday inspired me. Do you see that, Luke? Forget about today's show. Monday's show was literally inspiring to the listeners.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, that's awesome. My birthday is Tuesday the 21st, so some celebs that share my birthday are James Osterberg, a.k.a. Iggy Pop.
Oh,
do you think I said that right? Do you think it's Osterberg? Osterberg?
I don't know. I don't know. I
AKA
think you got pretty close. You
Iggy.
could just say Iggy Pop.
Pop. Robert Smith of The Cure.
Whoa.
The late Queen Elizabeth II.
Whoa.
Tony Danza. I was going to say you got
Angela.
I was going to say you got the time if I got the time if you got the diapers, but that's the wrong person. Let's see here. Andy McDowell. Oh, but still my
we
heart.
love
I had
Andy
such a
McDowell.
crush on
Give
Andy
me a
McDowell when I was
break.
kid.
Yeah. How many more do you have? Because it's not too late for me to add this music.
Oh,
in.
nice. Okay, good. Let me kill my music. Only a few more here. John Cameron Mitchell.
Oh, sure. Hedwig and the Angry Inch. And he also recently played. Did you watch Shrill at all?
No, I don't know why. I should have.
He played Dan Savage. I mean, he played the character on Shrill that is based on Dan Savage. And he was recently Mary in Oh, Mary on Broadway. Why do I know so much about John Cameron Mitchell right now?
Well,
I don't know.
I don't know, but let's bring this music back up here.
Okay.
I got a few more here.
All right.
John Muir. I think I'm saying that name right. Like, isn't that the outdoorsman? John.
Oh, John Muir?
Muir. Did I say that wrong? M-U-I-R.
He famously took Teddy Roosevelt out for a camp out where he prevailed upon him to preserve a lot of natural space in this country. It's credited with this like weekend that they spent together out in the woods.
Mm-hmm. Tony Romo.
Oh, sure.
Football
Noted
quarterback
announcer.
and announcer.
Uh-huh.
Abraham Ortelius, Flemish cartographer. I'm just
Oh,
kidding. I
yeah, I was
added that
thinking of
one.
him.
I
Oh, you did? Okay.
Ruined my own joke. And my favorite, this is real, this is Ann again, and my favorite, because we share the same year in 1972 as well, Bridget Everett. Happy Blur's Day.
Somebody somewhere.
To all and to all.
I got
night.
a real beef with Bridget Everett right now.
Oh, well, that makes sense. She seems like somebody who you'd want to beef with. A lot of people probably have a lot of issues with her.
Get in line, folks, because I think of us as being close personal friends now. And because I went to Manhattan, Kansas, and hung out at her favorite diner, and we had a great time together, and we text occasionally, and was trying to get her to come out to do Livewire, and she said, I would just love to, but I'm going to be getting this knee surgery. And I said, okay, no problem. Because actually, when we had been shooting together, her knee was kind of bothering her. And then I see her giving someone a piggyback ride during one of her shows, and I'm like, I guess the knee is better, Bridget.
You should text her and say that.
I'm going to right now.
You should tell her about Crouch Cream. No, that's.
I think it was Knees.
I think it's Knees.
It has a horse on the.
Because I think horses
has a horse on the bottle.
Bad news. Matt Walsh. Grace says, I'd like to wish a very happy Blur's Day to my mom, Diane. I can't quite wrap my head around the fact that she is retiring and becoming a grandma this year, but I can't wait to see where this next chapter of life will take her. Happy Blur's Day, happy Blur's Day, Diane, from Grace and from us.
Yeah.
I hate you because you look different.
No, that's not true. Diane, we love you.
No,
because
that wasn't about Diane. That was unrelated.
No, Diane, we love you because you look the same. I don't know what that means. Tiffany says, just in case other 10s were not on the case, which I would find hard to believe, we must, on this week's Blurs, remember Lawn Chair Larry, born April 19th, 1949.
Wow.
Carry on, business boys. What you do is so important. And, of course, listener Jesse also in on that, wanting to wish Lawn Chair Larry a happy Blur's Day.
That gets me every flipping year.
Me too, brother.
That's the fun part about having a brain full of Swiss cheese.
Yeah, right?
I get to get got on that every year, and I do not ever see it coming. And it is genuinely delightful, actually.
Rest in peace, Lawn Chair
Rest easy,
Larry.
Lawn Chair Larry.
That's right. Sleep easy, Lawn Chair Larry.
Yeah.
Wow, what an epic Blur's Day segment today. Honestly, this whole show has felt like some sort of a fever dream to me, Luke. And I don't think it's totally a
No,
bad
I think
thing.
this was a good show, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I'm feeling good. I think we had a couple of pretty good shows this week, which is
amazing.
A lot for us.
It
let's
is.
Be honest.
I'm not gonna try next week.
We should probably just let's do load management tomorrow.
Already ahead of you. Ahead of you.
Yeah. So, all right, everybody. That's going to do it for today's episode. But we will be back here tomorrow. Unlike the current crop of NBA superstars, we won't be resting tomorrow.
No.
We won't be load managing. We'll be right here talking to all of you. So please do join us for that. In the meantime, have a great Thursday. Take care of yourselves. Go Mariners. Boy, that really blew up in my face yesterday. I'm gonna keep trying though. And please remember, no mountain too tall.
And good luck to all.
Power out.